Live from the studios at the University of Kansas, you are watching KUJH-TV News.
Coming up on KUJH News, an inside look at the process of receiving the COVID vaccine.
The United States hits the one-year mark since the pandemic forced a nationwide lockdown.
And how businesses are keeping up with constant health order changes. All that and more right now on KUJH News.
Good afternoon and welcome to KUJH News. I'm Alexander Worth.
And I'm Emily Johnson. Just over 1 year ago, former President Donald Trump declared COVID-19 a national emergency.
Since then, the United States has seen nearly 30 million people, or just under 10% of the country, test positive for the virus.
This week, our nation saw its 530,000th COVID-related death, making it the leading cause of death over the past year.
Though these numbers may seem grim, things do seem to be getting better. In Kansas, daily cases have been falling steadily over the past 2 weeks.
According to Lawrence Douglas County Public Health, as of Tuesday, the number of active COVID cases sits at 229. This is down from nearly 400 active cases just 2 weeks ago.
Governor Laura Kelly announced Monday that the state will launch its third and fourth phases of the COVID vaccine distribution next week.
This phase is expected to take about 600,000 Kansans. The state looks to meet President Biden's goal of having vaccinations available for all adults by May 1st. You got vaccinated last week, is that right, Alexander?
That is right, and it was a pretty cool experience. I actually videotaped almost all of it, so let's take a look at that. As you can see, these videos, they have you drive through a maze of cones before they eventually speak to you and direct you inside, like they do here. They give you your card, and they ask you some questions about yourself. And I spoke to a gentleman working, and he told me that they had 3,100 appointments planned that day. No surprises, you can see just how many cars there are. Here you can see the army of volunteers they have working. And now you'll see my friend Sarah getting her vaccine right about here. I asked her to go first because she's far more brave than me. It takes all of 1 second, boom, and it's done. And now you'll see me go first, and I had to wince right here because I'm a little baby. And then naturally, we have to take the post-vaccine selfie right here to celebrate. And I actually got the Pfizer vaccine, and the whole process took just over 40 minutes, and that includes the 10-minute waiting period to see if you have any reaction to the vaccine.
Well, it's really lucky that you were able to already get the vaccine, and I know more students are beginning to get it. Oh, yeah. How was that process? I mean, how are you feeling afterwards?
Oh, I felt fine, and I was just blown away by how quickly everything went.
Good. 21-year-old Robert Aaron Long has been charged with several counts of murder after shooting and killing 8 people, many of whom were Asian descent.
Long shot several people at a massage parlor in northwest Atlanta before making his way to southeast Atlanta, where he shot more people at 2 other parlors. He was taken into custody last night, where he told authorities the attack was not racially motivated.
The Atlanta Police Department is still investigating the attack and has yet to call it a hate crime. This is the largest mass shooting in the United States has seen for over a year.
And this happens as hate crimes against Asian Americans have skyrocketed over the past year. While unfortunate acts have been...
What started as a group of around 10 protesters quickly grew to nearly 50 within the hour. Their cause? To fight back against the university's poor handling of recent events.
There's just been a lot of actions happening that have not backed up or supported the claims that KU says that they're about, so diversity, equity, inclusion.
Some of these actions include the recent firing of many black and brown employees, the dismantling of the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and the reorganization of the Office of Multicultural Affairs. One of those who attended was Mazzy Martinez, a student active in several social justice organizations on campus. I asked her about racism she's experienced while at KU.
About 2 a.m. once, I was walking, I was the only one in the hall, and a group of white men walk past me and make a joke about lynching me to me.
Although stories like this are not uncommon, these students say that the university does tend to ignore them.
And honestly, that's really, I think, what affects KU's retention of black and brown students and faculty and staff, because these things are happening, and when we do say something, nothing's being done about it.
Speaking to the crowd through a megaphone, McAdoo had this to say about the ongoing problems facing people of color.
These issues are real, they're happening to us every day, and it's time to stand up for us, period.
Protesters spent the whole day on Jayhawk Boulevard before eventually moving into Strawn Hall, where they remained throughout the night and into Friday morning.
The university has yet to make a statement about the protest.
And this past year has been a time of unrest, and everyone has experienced challenges. The pandemic certainly changed daily lives, and lead reporter Steph Manchin took a look at one of the most impacted groups of students on campus, the students. Let's take a look.
On March 17, 2020, the University of Kansas announced that the remainder of the semester would be moving online due to the then raging COVID-19 pandemic. Today, 1 year later, students are back on campus. Mask wearing is all the rage. And the hot topic of conversation is whether to get the Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson vaccine. After an extended spring break quickly turned into a 5-month lockdown, many students are just excited to be back on Jayhawk Boulevard. Junior Graham Wilhock said he found out about the campus-wide closure as he watched the news at work.
To say that it was one of the most depressing times of my life would be an understatement.
Sophomore Molly Cummings, a member of the basketball pep band, was preparing to cheer on the team as they headed off to play in March Madness prior to the announcement last March. However, the buses never left the parking lot.
We were waiting for the buses and they kept saying, oh, buses are going to be pushed back, It's been canceled.
As many students as there were on campus, there were also a number of Jayhawks studying abroad last year. Junior Nick Simpson was in the United Arab Emirates when he found out the semester would be moving online.
They started shutting stuff down and I was having a hard time finding food because they started to close all of the shops.
With 1 year of a COVID-19 friendly lifestyle under their belts, KU students are ready to get back to the little things that make their campus so special.
I also kind of just miss, there was an anonymity in space, and now I feel like that you have to have a reason to be somewhere.
I'm just excited to see KU in the spring.
Watson Library, over there. The stacks were my favorite place on campus. If I have the chance to have one more semester and no stacks, that'd be more than worth it.
Provost Barbara Bickelmeyer recently announced that the fall semester is looking to have as much in-person operation as possible, making online classes just another thing for the history books. In Lawrence, Steph Manchin for KUJH.
It certainly has been a very unpredictable year. Alex, I know that you had to return early from studying abroad. What was that experience like?
It was the worst experience of my life. I went from being abroad in England and I had to turn around in 36 hours after being there for 7 weeks, fly back and be in quarantine for months. So
can't even imagine. I was supposed to be going abroad this semester, and obviously plans have changed for most of us, but everyone's kind of just seeming to work with it.
Got to roll with the punches. But speaking of unpredictability, how about this weather we've been having recently? Our KUJH weather correspondent, Halen Wilhite, is going to give us a quick look at what we can expect the rest of the week. Halen, what can you tell us?
Well, I got some good news and some bad news. So the bad news is that for tonight, we might be getting a bit of snow. Yes, you heard me, snow. It's crazy. But going into this weekend, though, we are going to be getting a lot more warmer and a lot more clearer as well. And temperatures are going to be remaining mild going into next week as well. But I have more on how much snow we could be possibly getting in the full KUJH weather update.
Coming up on KUJH, how local businesses on Massachusetts Street have tried to survive during the pandemic. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Iowa, Mississippi, Montana, North Dakota, Texas, and Wyoming are the 6 states that have lifted mandatory mask mandates.
I actually had the chance to interview a local business manager and Watkins health official regarding about how they feel about possible mask mandate changes. Let's take a look. As we round a year after the pandemic, you might be getting a little sick and tired of having to put a mask on before entering businesses. As other states began to lift mask mandates, what is next for Kansas? Businesses in Lawrence have become used to the new normal of social distance dining. The Roost, located on Massachusetts Street, has closed for dine-in since March. The Roost plans to require masks inside for quite some time, even if the mask mandate is lifted for Douglas County or Kansas. Manager Sue Radican shared why they have decided to continue requiring masks.
We're not going to undo the hard work that our community and we have done to be safe, to keep our staff safe, to help keep numbers as low as they can be in Douglas County and then in Lawrence, obviously, specifically.
Dr. Pavik Sarapalli from Watkins Health Center explained that if mask mandates were lifted now, there are unknowns about more possible variants coming, how many people have actually been vaccinated, and the immunity of people who were sick in the fall.
So if everybody just reopened completely and stopped the masking and the distancing, we'd probably have another outbreak. Yeah.
For now, it seems like still wearing a mask is the best option for everyone.
It's going to be very interesting to see how other states change their mandates, and it really makes you wonder what's going to happen here in Kansas.
And things sure have changed over the past year for businesses on Mass Street. Our own Matt Mitchie takes a look at how downtown has adjusted to these changes.
As difficult as 1 year of coronavirus has been for the everyday person, so too has it been transformative for the local businesses in downtown Lawrence. Just ask Sean Donnelly, assistant manager at Louise's downtown.
Every facet of this business has been affected because every business has been affected by this. It's not just the bars.
It's impossible to walk on Massachusetts Street and not immediately see the pandemic's impact. New outdoor seating areas, as well as mask and social distancing mandates, have changed the fabric of businesses still in operation, while real estate signs hang in the windows of stores that weren't so fortunate.
For us, we've been very lucky. We've lost countless businesses, especially on Mass Street. People have been struggling, and now we have a lot of empty spaces.
Over a dozen businesses on Mass Street have either permanently closed or moved out of their location during the course of the pandemic.
I'm here outside Amy's Coffee House, which permanently closed in November, and it's not the only business on this block to do so. At least 4 others have either permanently closed or moved since March.
Yet still, businesses are finding a way not just to survive, but improve.
Patio, that was not there before this. People love that. It's incredible. We put a TV out there, we've invested into it, we want to keep it going. Places that can have outdoor seating need to have them. I think partitions between booths will start becoming more of a permanent thing because of this too. We will learn from this and we will go on.
For KUJH, I'm Matt Mitchie.
It's really sad to see just how many businesses have struggled, but it's very cool seeing ways they've adapted, and we've all had to find new ways to live through the pandemic.
It's no exaggeration to say that streaming services have had a field day this last year. With outside activities canceled due to the deadly pandemic, platforms like Netflix and Disney Plus and Hulu also saw record-breaking viewership.
Despite this, not every service was thriving. Tech correspondent Matthew Johnstone has the inside look into the losers of the streaming war.
Everybody look. You ain't seen nothing like this, nothing like this, nothing like this.
They can't all be winners. During a global pandemic, we were encouraged to stay indoors as much as possible to keep others safe. Because of this, streaming services flourished, becoming a saving grace for theatrical experiences when the theater couldn't exist. However, not all streaming services were created equal. Starting with Mixer. When I say video game streaming, some think of Twitch, some YouTube, very few Facebook, and none Mixer. Every other major player in the live streaming war had record growth a month into the pandemic, while Mixer failed to bring in even 1% of additional users in April of 2020 compared to April of 2019. With this knowledge, it's easy to understand why the company announced it was shutting the service down in late June last year. Even with bigger known streamers such as Ninja and Shroud signed exclusively to the platform, Mixer failed to establish a consistent audience base and presence in the gaming sphere. Moving on to Quibi. The app that was positioned as the ultimate time waster while waiting for your bus never took off. The 7 to 10 minute episodes never connected with viewers. It had the unfortunate luck of launching a service designed for the day-to-day hustle and bustle of city life as everyone was stuck in their house. If people want to watch high-quality content on the go, they'll just watch 5 minutes of the show they care about on much popular streaming services they're already paying for. While it is never good to see streaming platforms fail, learning from their mistakes ensures better services and experiences for audiences in the future. And hey, as much as you think of yourself as a failure, always remember you can't do worse than Quibi. For KUJH Tech, I'm Matthew Johnstone. Back to you in the studio.
Well, I know I've watched a lot of Netflix and Hulu over the last year. Alex, what was one of your favorite shows to watch?
My all-time favorite show to watch was Game of Thrones, and it always will be. So I watched that again, and right now I'm watching The Crown, and it's very good.
I watched The Crown as well, and I loved it, and I honestly highly recommend it to anybody that needs a show to watch.
The 63rd edition of the Grammys was Sunday. When we come back, our KUJH entertainment team will give you a full recap. Stay with us.
doesn't my skin look like theirs? Why is my nose so big? I'm never gonna look like those girls.
Welcome back. Beyonce, Cardi B, and red carpet looks. Jordan Nicole, Lauren Hugo, and Stephanie Morales-Macedo have more on what happened at the Grammys.
Thanks, Emily. We are once again combining Listen Up,
Hollywood with Hugo,
and The Close Up
to talk anything and everything about the Grammys.
COVID-19 has this award season looking quite differently, but the Grammys made the best of it. The award show pre-recorded performances for the artists on an audience-free stage and handed out awards in an outdoor venue with tables socially distanced. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's performance of WAP was definitely the most controversial of the night, as fans and haters alike had it trending on socials, talking about the provocative nature of it. Lil Baby gave a nod to the Black Lives Matter movement, which he actively took part in last summer. His performance gave goosebumps as he highlighted police brutality and racial injustices.
But we gotta start somewhere, might as well go ahead, start here. We done had a love for a year, I'ma make it count while I'm here. God is the only man I fear.
Taylor Swift had a lighter performance as her set took place in and on a cabin in the middle of magical-looking woods. The singer herself looked ethereal as she sang a medley from her album Folklore, which would later win a Grammy for Best Album that night.
The more that you say, the less I know. Wherever you stray, I follow.
The Grammys also paid tribute to the singers and songwriters who died last year. So I gotta know, which performance was your favorite?
Dua Lipa.
Yeah,
Dua Lipa.
The outfits were.
Yeah.
I would have to say DaBaby though.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that I really am a fan of disco, and she was giving me like a modern day Cher vibe.
Oh, I see that, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of amazing artists received Grammys like Megan Thee Stallion, Dua Lipa, Harry Styles, and Billie Eilish. But the night truly belonged to Queen Bee herself. Beyonce was nominated for 9 Grammys, making her the most nominated artist of the night. Before the Grammys even started, it was announced that Beyonce and her daughter Blue Ivy had won the Grammy for Best Music Video for Brown-Skinned Girls. The summer anthem Savage by Megan Thee Stallion featuring Beyonce had a great night as it took the Grammy for Best Rap Song and Best Rap Performance, breaking the record for the first pair of women to win the award. At the end of the night, it was Black Parade that won Best R&B Performance that officially made Beyonce the singer with the most Grammys with 28.
History has just been made, breaking the all-time record for the most Grammy wins ever by any female artist or any singer, male or female. The Grammy goes to Beyonce!
I've been a fan of Beyonce since I was 4. I used to make up dance routines with my sister and cousin. So I saw this moment coming since 1999. I mean, I called it. I really did. So, but in all honesty, the way Beyonce is so humble when she accepts these awards, she's just so, you know, respected by her peers. And I really admire that. So no surprise on my end.
And she's not done.
Yes. So from red carpet failures to looks that stopped the show, here are the best and worst looks from the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards.
It wouldn't be the Grammys if we didn't talk about award show glamour. Let's start with the looks that stole the show. Taking the number 3 spot is Jhené Aiko in a pink Montsori gown. Meg Thee Stallion, aka the Savage Queen, comes in at number 2 wearing Dolce & Gabbana, topping off the look with diamond accessories by Chopard. Dua Lipa takes the number 1 spot wearing a head-to-toe sparkling custom Versace dress. Not everyone looked top-notch on the carpet though. I'm sorry guys, but here are the worst looks. Coming in at number 3 is Doja Cat. The Say So singer wore a custom Robert Cavalli gown with a deep V neckline. Noah Cyrus quickly became meme-worthy in her Schiaparelli couture gown. I guess that's where all the toilet paper went, someone tweeted. Ouch. And taking the number 1 spot is the Watermelon Sugar singer wearing a custom Gucci suit, multiple suits actually, with a green and purple feather boa. What do you guys think? I think this look is giving me Clueless vibes.
I disagree with Doja Cat. I think the mullet is so cool. I wish I had a mullet myself.
Girl, really? Business in the front, party in the back. I don't agree. It was bad.
It's fair. That's fair. It's out there.
It was Doja Cat or Alley Cat.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't like it. Sorry.
That's okay. That's it for the Grammys. We have one more entertainment roundtable left for the Oscars in April. The nominees are out, and I'm pretty excited to see what's going to happen. Back to you, Emily and Alexander.
The Grammys are personally almost one of my favorite award shows forever. Did you end up watching this year?
I actually did watch this year. I don't know the last time I watched, but I'm glad I watched this year because between Dua Lipa and Harry Styles and DaBaby, I mean, come on, that was incredible.
They had some great performances, and it was honestly really impressive how they worked with COVID guidelines to still make the show very entertaining.
It was awesome. When we come back, we'll have a full weather forecast and the latest in sports.
Coming up on KUJH Sports, we're talking all things March Madness, and we'll have an update about KU football's interim head coach. Stay with us.
Welcome back. My name is Halen Walleye here with your KUJH weather update. Current temperatures right now in our metro, we're currently pretty cold outside. 42 in Lawrence, 42 in Topeka, 43, again, metro's pretty mild, but going into tomorrow though, or I should say, for right now, radar's not showing pretty overcast, but right now, again, it's pretty overcast. We're gonna be staying overcast for probably into the rest of the night. But right now, 42 degrees, colder with breezy winds from the north at 13 to 24 miles per hour. And for the rest of the evening, 5 o'clock, we're going to be at 41 with winds at the northeast at 14 miles per hour. And then we're going to be, the wind's actually going to be starting to blow and get faster at north at 20 miles per hour. But I also want to say, also for tonight, don't hate me, it is going to snow. Yes, you heard me. It's going to be a winter mix. But yeah, precipitation chance is at 80%, but right now we are currently under a winter weather advisory from 10 o'clock tonight to about 9 a.m. on Thursday. And right now, and for tomorrow, this winter weather will also be going into tomorrow morning as well, with the precipitation chance at 50% and winds from the northwest at 18 to 28 miles per hour. And here's what Futurecast is showing us. And as you see, this rain that's still kind of sticking around in our area, and then right around early morning, late hours of Thursday, early mornings of Thursday, that the temperatures are very, very close to 32 degrees, which is freezing. And that's why it's kind of showing it might be mixed weather. And so we're very uncertain about the amount of snow we could be receiving. And this snow is definitely going to be the heavier wet type of snow. But right now, Lawrence and most of the KC metro area could be experiencing about 1 to 3 inches of snow, with some areas possibly seeing 3 to 6 inches of snow as well. But for some of the impacts that we could be seeing is road conditions. Travel might be really dangerous in the morning because, one, the winds are going to be blowing and that snow is going to be falling, so visibility is going to be really low, and that snow will start to pack and make things really slick. And also, too, sidewalks could be pretty slick as well, so be sure to keep an eye on that and take it slow. But good news is that after this winter weather, this weekend is going to be absolutely beautiful. 63 for Sunday and 60 degrees for the first day of spring on Saturday. And then going into the rest of the week, or going into next week, we will be returning back into the 60s, and also we might see a little bit more of spotty rain showers. That is all I have for this weather update. We will be back with your latest in sports.
From adversity, we rose. We made history and became pioneers, voyagers, champions, Jayhawks. And when our chant rises, haunting and hallowed, Jayhawks are telling the world what's near. Victory.
Welcome back. It is now the most wonderful time of the year, and no, I don't mean Christmas time. March Madness starts this weekend.
Let's go to our sports anchor, Morena Seaver, for a deeper look at everything you need to know following Selection Sunday. Morena?
Thanks, Alex and Emily. Just over a year ago, the NCAA canceled the 2020 men's basketball tournament in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. At the time, Kansas was the consensus #1 college basketball program in the country, and news of the tournament's cancellation sent Jayhawk Nation reeling. Former Kansas point guard Devon Dotson even went so far as to have Natty Champs 2020 stitched on the inside of the suit jacket he wore on NBA draft night, a small reminder of what could have been. There was definitely madness last March, just not the kind college basketball teams and fans alike were hoping for. A year later, a very different Kansas basketball team is preparing for a March Madness like no other. Kansas had to pull out of the Big 12 tournament after one game due to COVID issues within the program, leaving only the NCAA tournament on the horizon. The Jayhawks will head into the big dance as the #3 seed in the West region, taking on #14 Eastern Washington in the first round. Senior guard Marcus Garrett said it feels good knowing the team has the chance to play for a championship again, and that they can't wait.
Knowing all the love and the support that we had going down there and being in the Final Four is definitely a feeling that I want to have again.
Of course, the last time the Jayhawks made the Final Four was in 2018, Garrett's sophomore year. This will be the 31st consecutive tournament appearance for Kansas, which is the longest active streak in college hoops. All of the tournament games will be played in Indiana, and teams will spend most of their time isolated to their respective floors at the hotels they stay in. KU forwards David McCormick and Tristan Enaruna, who were placed into the COVID protocol just before the Big 12 tournament, are expected to be able to arrive in Indianapolis in time for the first round. However, KU will have its leading rebounder Jalen Wilson out for the first and second rounds due to COVID issues. But Coach Bill Self said the team is, quote, in as good a shape as we can be in. If KU wins on Saturday, they'll advance to play either the University of Southern California, Wichita State, or Drake. 3 opponents are possible instead of 2 because Wichita State and Drake still have to play into the tournament via a first 4 game on March 18th. The winner of that game will face USC round 1. I think I speak for college hoops fans everywhere when I say I hope teams are able to avoid any more COVID issues so that the tournament can unfold as naturally and with as much excitement as usual. And of course, from all of us here at KUJH, go Jayhawks. We'll go now to Jenna Wilson for an important update on Kansas football. Jenna?
How's it going, Jayhawks? It was just a week ago we found out KU parted ways with former head football coach Les Miles. The program has finally come to a decision on who will be the interim head coach, Emmett Jones. Jones has been at KU for 3 years as the wide receivers coach and passing game coordinator. Sources say he's been one of the most popular assistants in the eyes of the players, and this likely played a role in KU naming him the interim head coach. Many Jayhawks posted their support in a series of tweets on social media after KU made the announcement that he'd be in charge of the team for now. Since joining the program, Jones has proved himself as a top recruiter for KU, helping the Jayhawks land high school prospects from the Dallas area and throughout Texas. Jones has stated in a KU release that he is honored to be the new interim head coach and will rely on the assistant and strength coaches to guide the athletes on and off the field. Chancellor Doug Girard affirmed that once an athletic director is in place, KU will launch a search for a permanent head coach. With KUJH News, Jenna Wilson.
Thanks, Jenna. When we come back, we'll take a look at this year's St. Patrick's Day Parade in Lawrence. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Today is St. Patrick's Day, and like most holidays in the last year, celebrations will look a little bit different. Matt Mitchie went downtown to show how people are celebrating the day.
For the first time since its inception in 1988, the Lawrence St. Patrick's Day Parade was canceled last year. This year, its organizers were committed to ensuring the tradition stayed alive and came up with the social distancing reverse parade.
It's called a reverse parade because instead of the parade coming to you, you come to the parade.
Since March 5th, over 20 local businesses have set up stands, decorations, and special deals all across Massachusetts Street celebrating St. Patrick's Day. You can vote on the parade's Facebook page for your favorite display, and the winner will get a special reverse parade trophy. The parade ends today, so if you haven't embraced your St. Patrick's spirit, take a walk down Mass Street and vote for your favorite stand.
For KUJH at Lucia Shamrock Shack, I'm Matt Mitchie.
That's KUJH News for March 17th.
To view our stories again or to share them with your friends, visit our website at tv.ku.edu and check out all of our social media pages. Be sure to tune in next Wednesday at 4 p.m. for the latest news, weather, and sports.
With Emily Johnson, I'm Alexander Worth. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening.